Never share your player of the match at the end.
Someone else clearly thought they should have had it.
Well, who do you think it should be?
I don't know.
Don't say. Palova, again, she's one of those names you'd stick on the team sheet. She's been one of those consistent performers for Arsenal this season. But let's go back to... They're 1-0 down at half-time. We're saying, what can they change? They get it back to 1-1. What did you see that was different from this Arsenal team in the second half?
To be fair, the stats were brilliant, really, in terms of Arsenal. They had all the chances, all the possession. They just took their chances more in the second half. And I think Aston Villa were also tired, but credit to Arsenal. She alluded to it there. They're obviously low on confidence from the Chelsea game, and you go 1-0 down, you think, the goalkeeper's having a worldie. Yeah, but they persevered with it, and I do think putting Stina on, keeping Russo on, Stina Blackstenius, Alessia Russo, and pushing with it. Sometimes you have to wait to the very last 5-10 minutes of a game when a team are really tired and they are in that back five to really to go for it. But they grinded the result out in the end, and like you said, that's important for their confidence, and especially ahead of the final next week.
Let's have a little look at 1-1 then, because we were saying Anneli have been brilliant in goal for Villa. This potentially could have done better?
Yeah, listen, this is Villa playing out from the back, and those warning signs. Arsenal's press, they set traps. They lulled Villa into a false sense of security that they could actually play out. But the way they win this ball back in midfield, it's come, I think it was Lacasse on Jordan Nobbs, making her think that she had time. I actually expected from Russo a little bit better on the initial shot. She does really well to spin in, and you can see what she's trying to do. She's trying to shape it across. Not enough angle on the ball, but Palova, that finish is not easy as well. We said it about Salmon's first time finish in the first half. This one, to take the ball, a bouncing ball, to control yourself in that moment and apply the composure needed. A hilarious attempt from Dan Turner to, I think she quickly moves her hand out of the way.
Yeah.
But no, it's a brilliant goal from Palova, and got a team back into the game.
So you're focusing on the brilliance of Palova then, rather than Leet maybe should have parried it?
Yeah, I'm not a goalkeeping specialist. No, never actually made it in that position. But I think arguably you could say she could have done better. But the finish from Palova really composed in that moment. Yeah,
but like we were saying, they were peppering that goal, weren't they? And then they get 2-1. Lossa Wubben Moy. I mean, an unexpected source, but whichever way they're going to go in.
No, I mean, look, she probably would have felt like. It's a great header, it's a great ball in, and she does really well with it. But I have to say, probably she would have been disappointed in the first half for the goal they conceded.
Yeah.
So she's probably thinking, I love this about her, I'll get my team back in it. And sometimes as centre-backs, I'd be saying to her, maybe next season, you've got to get on the score sheet more. But I think Lotta Wubben-Moy has been brilliant for Arsenal this season. I think she has been a key player for them. And a big moment like that, she stepped up. So, yeah, it was a great header, and the goalkeeper couldn't save that because it was so well executed.
Yeah, her first WSL goal of the season, second in all comps from her. But you're right, it's that bit of bite maybe that Arsenal have been missing. And then 3-1, when we talk about fortune, I mean, this was offside, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, again.
And then handles the ball?
Yeah, listen, this is difficult because, I don't want to be too harsh, but this ball here initially should be squared for the first time finish for Caitlin Ford. And then this bit here, it's just... I don't really know what to say, to be honest. This is a better angle of the offside.
I think it's worse,
it's not that close, but it is offside. The official's right there.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
Like, the official is right there. We can make excuses, but she's literally 2 yards away from her, and then the handball's on the same side as well, and the referee's in a good position. So, yeah. Nevertheless, you've got to react as Aston Villa, though, haven't you, Izzy? And you've got to...
Yeah, you've got to play to the whistle, get up to the ball. But I mean, I think in the defence of the Aston Villa players there, it's that obvious that they almost can't believe the fact that the referee hasn't blown the whistle. And then you get taught as a kid playing football, play to the whistle, and then that's just it's through two sets of people's legs and into the back of the net, and it gives Arsenal that 2-goal cushion. Something
else to have a little potential think about when it comes to the officials is the potential penalty shout for Russo. Do you think this was?
Watch it back again. I think there's definitely a stake there for it. There's contact, from Rachel Daly, I think it was, on Russo. She does really well actually to take the ball. And I think it's a tough one. I've seen them given. There's definite contact there on the left ankle of Russo, so perhaps could have been a penalty.
I think we're having to slow it down that much as well. Maybe that one's a bit more forgivable than the offside and the handball earlier. All said and done, though, they had enough shots, they had enough opportunities. Arsenal should be winning this one anyway.
Yeah, look, I mean, they had enough in the first half. And Aston Villa only had that one shot, and that was a goal in the first half. So, yeah, overall, and you look at the stats, they don't lie, it was a peppering. It was just they weren't clinical and the goalkeeper was brilliant. But again, it's that...
It's the story of Arsenal this season.
Yeah, but it's that bit, that next bit, I can't describe it. It's like a feeling that...
It's like the Leicester game when they played Leicester away this season. They were 2-0 down at half-time and they came out, and I think we finished 6-2. Yeah. And the response in the second half from Arsenal was electric. But it was like it took them to concede 2 goals and have a hammering at half-time to then come back out with the energy and the enthusiasm and to play what the game was giving them. And you've seen today, Kaz said they ground Aston Villa down. They dropped Aston Villa right back off, that it was only a matter of time before they scored again. But with Arsenal, I think the challenge for not just till the end of the season, but moving forwards is how can their style be so imposing that they kill teams off in the first half? And I think that's probably ideally where Jonas Eidevall wants to get his team to.
I mean, we're all sat here going a little bit, negative, maybe a little bit flat, but they've got a cup final coming up. Heard from Pullover, they still feel they can go.
Their keeper was outstanding, but you dug deep, you got the job done.
Yeah, we did. we had to accumulate a lot of shots and a lot of chances to force her into conceding. And like you said, she had a great game. So I thought we did as a team as well. I think first half was a decent first half from us. I think we were far the better team, but we conceded a goal on their only chance in it. And that, of course, makes it a challenging second half for us. But the way the team responded to do that and to keep on suffocating Villa, to keep on piling on pressure, to keep on creating chances, I thought that was great. Really, really good response from us.
We watched you at half-time. It took some time for you to actually leave that technical area to come inside. What were your thoughts? Because second half, so much better from you.
Yeah, to get rid of the emotions, to get clarity in the communication, to saying, like, what do we need more of? And what do we need more of in the second half? Halftime can't be a review of the first half. Halftime talk always have to be looking into the future of the second half and making sure that we have these 2-3 points that is really, really important for the team to get across and to do in the second half. And I thought we got that right today.
Were the players not doubting themselves? Was there a little bit of lack of confidence from them?
No, I don't think so. Like, it was a team that was problem solving on the pitch. It was a team that was really solution orientated in halftime as well for it. They were really open to that. They're really calm in a pressed situation. I thought that's exactly how I want the team to respond. I was really proud of that.
You talked about the importance of the 3 points. What can that do now in terms for the remainder of your season? I know you're still in a fight, and I know that you won't give up on the title because things can happen in a run-in, but what does that do?
It's one game at a time, but I think more importantly is to see what a performance like this can do, because we speak about playing our way, and I think second half is a great display of playing the Arsenal way. I think being problem solvers, we speak about that, we want to be good problem solvers, and being in that situation here in the first half and making that second half display for that was a great step in the right direction for us as well. And it's about that, and it's about taking one game at a time and making as good as display and performance as possible.
What is the Arsenal way? Do you know more after that match? I only say that because they've got this huge Conti Cup match coming up. What's the best starting 11? We've seen the shots. Who's going to put them away? So many questions to ask about Arsenal.
There's a lot, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Is it too late?
No, look, I think the biggest thing for them today was to get the win. Because I do kind of sit more on the fence of Pullover, where she said they were lacking in confidence. I know the manager's on there and he's trying to speak to messages to probably Chelsea and to us and to many other people. It would have dented them massively last Friday. It would have done. You know, as a former player, I would have just wanted to sit in my house and just kind of curl up for a few days. And that's happened as well in my career. So that's what I'm sure they might have felt. So the main thing today was getting another game as quick as possible, getting the win and just dusting it off. Who's their best team? I don't know, because they're inconsistent at the moment, and I don't know what team's going to show up next week against Chelsea. We spoke about it. I don't know whether he'll play Russo on the left, Steiner up top. I don't know, and it also depends on freshness. But they're not of the same energy that I saw a few weeks back. They're not at the same confidence, I don't think, and it's understandable after what happened last week. But the most important thing today was a reaction, and the second half they gave it.
You've got to kind of grasp it, though, when you see that Chelsea got an extra match midweek, the confidence taken from beating Chelsea earlier in the season, regardless of what's happened now. And yes, we may not know, but do you know who should be the best 11?
Firstly, the games don't faze Chelsea, and we've seen that. The quantity of
that's
games,
the problem.
It doesn't faze them. So that has, or should have, zero factor in the consideration of Arsenal during their preparation for the cup final on Sunday. With Eidevall, listening to the messages that he's portrayed throughout the season, he speaks a lot about the finishers in the game, not just the starters. And I think looking at it, from afar, I'm going, you need to put out an 11 that is going to compete with Chelsea and stay in the game. Because if we're being, really honest, the form that Arsenal are coming into this game on, yes, today's win has helped them, but Chelsea are flying at the moment. They really are. And they are a very difficult team to beat. And the game plan needs to be absolutely perfect from Eidevall, and the players need to execute it as well. We've seen today that it's taken the second half, and it's taken players off the bench, and it's taken almost controlled chaos to break down Aston Villa. And I think, personally, the solution might be Russo and Blackstenius playing together in some sort of capacity. But Aston Villa, we need to give them a little bit of credit. The stats of the game, don't support them very well. But I think in terms of the bravery to play out from the back, I love to see it. I think Ebony Salmon, massive positive. A young player who we spoke about before the game, who needed, to start sort of adding a bit of fuel onto her fire. And she's scored 2 and 2 now. And, that's a young player getting confidence from that. Yes, the result wasn't good, but from Aston Villa, they exploited Arsenal's weaknesses in the first half, and you expect Arsenal, with that squad, to respond, and they did.
Yeah, but I hear this word confidence a lot, whether in a positive or a negative in terms of from the manager and the players. If you have that many shots, the most shots in the WSL this season, surely it's a huge negative not to be scoring more.
But yeah, look, you want to be scored, but Caroline, I've sat here many times, and I've been involved in many games where the keeper's absolutely a worldie. We've hit everything but the back of the net. But at the end of the day, they've come away and have won 3-1. So yes, it's frustrating. Yes, you will be coming away from a review and saying, look, we have to take these chances. The goalkeeper, yes, has made saves, but they are at her in the greatest respect. But they've earned this from pressing. They are a pressing team. So, look, like I said, that for me, it's a team that is in confidence. Marnham's missed 2 good chances tonight. But look, at the end of the day, they've come away and they've won 3-1. But they are where they are in the league as well, though, because maybe of these moments that they don't have that killer instinct. And I think that's it. They don't sense it. They don't feel it in other games. And they haven't lost the league on games like Chelsea. They've lost the league on other games where they haven't had that killer instinct, and that's what's let them down. And maybe these moments might have summed that up for them.
That Liverpool result, that Spurs result, that West Ham result, that's where the league's gone. It's not that result to Chelsea, is it?
No, exactly. And look at those chances. There's a problem in the manager's office with the technical staff if those chances are not being created. And a lot of them are coming from high press, and that's where Arsenal are at their best. And if you fast forward to next weekend's cup final, and if they're going to press Chelsea high, like they probably will, those chances, if you do create, because a lot of the time in football we speak about pressing. Well, what is pressing? Why do we press? Is it to stop the opposition, or is it to score? And I think Arsenal, they give me the impression that they're pressing to score goals. But they have to be ruthless in those moments. You might get 1 against Chelsea. You might not get any if they're watertight at the back playing out. And we've seen with their goalkeeper, Hannah Hampton, they'll just knock it to her and she'll ping it out to a fullback for fun. So I think that, generally speaking about Arsenal, I think that cup final next weekend is a one-off, and they have to put all their eggs into that basket. And from a league perspective, stay in it. You've just got to keep winning your games, and I think you've got to start planning for next season.
Yeah, if we have a look at the fixtures, though, all the messages coming out of this, we're still focusing on one game at a time, and the league is still possible. But look at their season. there it is, written in large. Chelsea in the cup final, Brighton at the end of it. Manchester City, yes, they can affect things in terms of their league position if they beat Manchester City, but you're relying on City now and Chelsea now to drop points, and you just don't see where it's coming.
The cup final is their big thing next week, and then the rest of it is are they the party poopers? Are they going to ruin it? Because they're up against City really. They're, the other games you expect them to win, but their whole season is defined on next weekend. Should it be that? Absolutely not. They should be doing better with their squad, but this is the reality. But they can equally got a big say left in the title, even though it might not be for them.
All right, you wanted to give credit to Aston Villa. 1 shot, 1 goal. Let's hear from the boss, Carla Ward.
Carla, you showed great resilience for the majority of that match until the final stages. Your keeper was outstanding, the pressure that you were under.
Yeah, look, we know what Leety's quality is, and when Daff obviously got injured, we weren't too worried because we know full well that we've got somebody that can step up. Leety and Daff push each other every single day. She's shown every time she's been called upon, she's been outstanding. So unbelievable performance from her tonight. But the whole team out of possession, I thought, we knew that we were going to have to be resolute. We knew we were going to have to be compact. We were going to have to be tight. We're up against top side, against top players. And I think it was important that we stuck together and dug in tonight. And we've done that because we've had to ride a few waves, a number of waves tonight. But I thought we did that really well. So it's frustrating to come away having conceded 2 late goals.
They were really good periods of play as well in that match. It's a case of just building on those moments now and turning it into the full 90.
Yeah, look, we changed shape a couple of weeks ago after 2 heavy defeats. We had to look at it, have a look at what we've got, what suits the system. And I think we've looked a lot better, but we probably needed to squeeze up the pitch a little bit more today, get a little bit more pressure on them. I think when we have a look at it, there was probably moments that we could have, but you know what, there's a lot of pride in for the players tonight. I think they've put a right shift in, and they deserve a huge amount of credit.
You talk about that pride. What have the players said in that huddle afterwards? What have they said in the dressing room as well for that shift? Bodies on the line.
Honestly, I don't know because I wasn't allowed in it. I've still not been allowed near them. I think that the staff will be coming in a minute, but I did radio down just to let them know it's immense pride. We've got to build on it because they're going to be disheartened, conceded 2 late goals, but we have to build on that. I think structurally in the last 2 weeks we've been good, but we now need to take that into the games that are winnable and try and get some points on the board.
Positives, particularly in that first half from Aston Villa. Salmon, we were listening in the second half. Get it to Salmon, get running, Salmon. They just needed to stretch them more in that second half.
Just laughing at what you said, fishing jokes. So many in my brain right
Sorry.
now. No, I think that the way that Villa set up, it was high energy, high press, and I think it was difficult for them to sustain that in the second half. Carla Ward asked a lot of her players physically tonight. But
particularly as there was illness in the camp during the week.
Absolutely, it's difficult, and not many players on the bench that can come off the bench and make a big impact. Players missing from the squad, players that were sold in the January window, Killer Brown to Manchester City, a midfielder, which is an area where I'm looking and going, they're short in that area. So I thought they had a really good account of themselves in the first half. Second half, obviously, they dropped off, negative, but they kind of had to. They kept playing out when perhaps they should have been turning Arsenal and playing territory. But no, there are some positives to take for Aston Villa in a difficult circumstance.
Couple of good games then to finish this weekend. Thank you two, all killer, no filler from these two.
عن طريق المديرين الرياضيين. هل ريسكاتي كلها ان انا مشكلتي ان اشيل المدرب او اجيب لاعب غالي؟ كان دايما يقول لك مالك كان اسمها ايه؟ اير اسيا بتاعه الطيران، لما بعد كده اشترى كان فيرونتينا اعتقد ولا كان نادي ايه في ايطاليا، كان بيتكلم بيقول لك اداره شركه الطيران اسهل بكتير من اداره نادي في انجلترا. كان لا اشترى نادي في انجلترا من ليزبرا باين ولا مش فاكر بصراحه المعلومه، لان بيقول لك في الشركه الموضوع عندي كنترولد، ان انا عارف بشتري ايه وبكسب ايه وبخسر ايه، لكن بيقول لك انا بعمل كل التفاصيل وانا بشتري النادي، وفي الاخر بيقرر مدرب و11 لاعب مصير كل اللي انا عملته. يا في الاخر الجمهور يقلب عليا ويقول لك انت فاشل ومشروعك فاشل، لازم تمشي، لازم تجيب لي المهاجم الفلاني، لازم تجيب لعيب الوسط الفلاني، لازم تمشي المدرب، لازم تجيب المدرب الفلاني. فبيقول لك انا في الاخر كل الكنترول اللي انا كنت بعمله وبحاول اعمله بيضيعوا لي 11 واحد في الملعب. يا اما ينجحوا لي 11 واحد في الملعب. ده بالظبط حل تشيلسي حاليا. ولذلك تاني برجع من كلام سايمون كوبر ده على مالك هذا النادي، واستنتاجي الشخصي على اني، ودايما هفرض حسن النيه ليهم، ان اقبالي وتود بويلي عندهم النيه الجيده لصنع شيء لتشيلسي، ولكن الطقم اللي تحتهم هو اللي فيه الشر، هو اللي فيه الرؤيه الخاطئه لتشيلسي. هفرض دي ودي وهقول لك يا عم ما هو فعلا انا ستيل عندي مشاكل في 11 لاعب وعندي مشاكل في مدرب. ولذلك ديفيد اورنستون يعني ان لاين مع الخبر بتاع ان ماوريسيو بوتشينيو مكمل، طلع بخبر ان سيكون صيف مزدحم جدا. 2 عقلياتهم بتلعب مونوبولي، احنا هنبيع ونشتري اكتر من تحقيق الانجاز. هل تشيلسي محتاج لعيبه بالشكل اللي هو يخليك تقول ان ده صيف مزدحم؟ انا بقسم بالله لا، انا اقسم لك بالله لا. وعشان ما تبيعش الوهم للجمهور، مش هيكون مزدحم. انت عندك مشاكل في اللعب النظيف، مش هتعرف تشتري زي ما انت فاكر. انت صيفك المزدحم عباره انك تبيع 5 لعيبه. ده رقم 1. رقم 2، هل ضمان الصيف المزدحم لو جبت لعيبه انك تنجح مع هذا المدرب؟ مش عايز احلف تاني ان الجمهور عارف انك لو جبت اوزمن استيل عندك نسبه ريسك كبيره جدا لفشله. بص وصلت لايه؟ بص انت وصلت الرؤيه بتاعتك لشعار النادي. هل انت شايفه برايتون موناكو ولا شايفه تشيلسي؟ بص انت وصلت النادي لايه. احنا كنا عارفين اللعيب اللي بيجي يندمج في وسط منظومه تشيلسي بينجح. انا دلوقتي هروح اجيب افضل لاعب في افريقيا، افضل لاعب في الدوري الايطالي، وصيف كاس الامم الافريقيه، واحطه في تشيلسي ومش ضامن انه ينجح. كنت بجيب دروجبا اسم مش معروف وبص كسر الدنيا معايا. انت متخيل احنا وصلنا لمرحله ايه في التقزيم بتاع الفريق؟ فانا النهارده رايح اتكلم على زي الفيديو بتاع الاستاذ بوتشينيو لما بيتكلم على توظيف كايسيدو وتوظيف انزو. طبعا ده عبث، هنبقى نتكلم عليه بالتفصيل يعني، واهدار لطاقات الاثنين. بجانب اهدار طاقات كايسيدو وطاقات انزو، طاقه تشوكوميكا، نكونكو، مدرك، توظيف ديزيسيل غلط، توظيف كولويل اللي انا متاكد ان كولويل ده حتى رغم ان انا مش بحبه ممكن يطلع منه حاجات احسن لو مع مدرب تاني مع خطه تاني. ويوم ما نيجي نستقر، طب بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، ده الفرقه شابه واعده عندها 50,000 مشكله، نعمل ايه؟ نستقر في التشكيل. مفيش استقرار في التشكيل. يوم ما نستقر على قلوب الدفاع، يوم بتضلين ما نقول يلا تياجو سيلفا بره، حط ديساسي وحط كولويل، يلعبوا اول مباراه 4 ورا، تاني مباراه يلعبوا 3 ورا. طب هم يا ابني مش فاهمين اصلا. يعني انا بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لازم اثبت، يعني لازم اثبت. لذلك بشوف ناس مثلا بتهاجم اهو تياجو سيلفا قعد، ايه اللي اتحسن في الفرقه؟ ما هي ما تتحسبش كده يا صاحبي، ما هي ما تتحسبش كده يا صاحبي. لازم تتحسب انا ثبت قد ايه فين. هو انا بس احط كولويل وديساسيفا كده اللهم صل على النبي كده الدنيا بقت تمام والخطه ثبتت؟ لا مثبتهم في الباكات حواليهم، ولا مثبتهم في خطه 4 ورا، ولا انا عارف خطه 3 ورا. نفس الفكره. يعني مثلا عبد الرحمن طلعت، انا اتفرجت على الفيديو التحليل بتاعه بتاع مباراه برينتفورد وهو بيتكلم على فيروس 3-5-2. انا مثلا اختلف مع عبد الرحمن. ليه؟ الفكره العيب مش في الخطه، يعني العيب مش في الخطه ولا الميزه في الخطه. يعني لا مثلا العيب في 3-5-2 ولا ميزه لو لعبت 4-2-3-1. فكره ادوار وتوظيف اللعيبه مش عند اللعيبه. ولذلك انا بتفرج على بوتشينيو او تشيلسي بوتشينيو انا بفقد كل قدرات اللعيبه. انا مره بفتي وبشوف مدرك وحش على الشمال، طبعا ده بعد سلسال من ان بين تشيلويل هو اللي بيلعب اصلا جناح، ما علينا. فحط مدرك صانع لعب، بعدين جاكسون عنده مشكله في الانهاء، حط لي جاكسون بقى جناح شمال. بعد كده عندي توظيف مشكله، العب بديساسي باك يمين. بعد كده لا كولويل باك شمال. بعد كده انزو ورا كايسيدو. بعد كده جاليجر مكان انزو. بعد كده جاليجر قدام وانزو ورا قدام كايسيدو بس مش جنبه. بالمر اتوظف مهاجم وهمي. انا مفيش لاعب عندي ثبت في اول حاجه بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اثبت على ام تشكيله تطلع حتى قدرات اللعيبه، تتعود قدرات اللعيبه انها تطلع. يعقل 27 جوله ما لاقيش لاعب عندي وحد الله مستوى التطور ولا حارس المرمى حتى. انت بتتكلم في ايه؟ انت بتتكلم في بقاء مين؟ ولا صيف ساخن بتاع ايه؟ ولا ده هيفرق ولا ده هيفرق. والعقليه بتاعه الانهزام ليست عقليه بوتشينيو فقط، العقليه جايه من اللي فوق بوتشينيو. هم بصلك كانك انت برايتون وموناكو. ولذلك انا بطلع من ريسك بخش في ضحضيره، بطلع من نقره بخش في ريسك. اروح جرهام بوتر، اروح اغير، بدل ما اروح اجيب واحد اليت، لا ده انا اروح اجيب لامبارد، اضيع تلت موسم سمعتي تبقى زي الزفت، فيبقى اسوأ واحد ممكن يجي لي، ويوم ما القدر يبتسم لك ويقول لك تعالى انريكي او نايجل زمان، يبقى فرق التوقيت بتاعك يتدخل زي فيلم انترستيلر بتاع نولان، ونروح مختارين بوتشينيو. طب القدر بيديك فرصة تاني، ده احنا النتائج مفيش اوحش من كده، ده احنا الاداء مفيش اوحش من كده، ده احنا الروح مفيش اوحش من كده، ده احنا التصريحات مفيش اوحش من كده، ده احنا اللعيبة قيمتها التسويقية بتقل، مفيش اوحش من كده. لا والله العظيم لانجدد الثقة فيه. طب يا عم انت عايز ايه؟ كيف ستنجح وانت بهذه العقلية؟ ازاي هتنجح؟ انت لو انت طالع فرحان بالنقطة قدام برينتفورد، لو طالع فرحان بالاداء قدام ليفربول والطاقة اللي خلصت في ال90 دقيقة، لو طالع فرحان بالتعادل امام مانشستر سيتي، يبقى خلاص انا بحكي في ايه وانت بتحرق دمك في ايه كمشاهد؟ خلاص كده ملهاش لازمة. وتطلع من اموريم على تشابي على انزاجي على كله ريسكات. هل الاتنين اللي موجودين في التعيينات يروحوا يعينوا حد بشخصية فائزة، شخصية بطولية، شخصية تحقق انتصار؟ لا، هيروح يجيب لك اموريم مثلا. مش بقول ان اموريم وحش ولا بتاع، بس فاكرين لايف الجمعة اتكلمت لك ان بواش كان كسبان ثلاثية، جه تشيلسي ما عرفش يتعامل مع العقلية دي. مدرب متحدي، مدرب يعرف يقود ويطلع قدرات من اللعيبة، مش انك تروح تجيب كمان لعيبة. وانا مش هصرف مليار تاني يا حبيبي عشان اشتغل اجيب بيها المركز الرابع واقول لك والله مثلا الخامس السادس، اتحسنا عن الموسم اللي فات. عايز تتخلص من ما يحدث في تشيلسي، تخلص من الاثنين بتوع التعيينات، هات عقلية فائزة، هات عقلية ما تخافش لو جبت لها واحد متحدي، ما تخافش لو دخلت في صدام مع مدرب، ما تخافش لو قاعدة شغالة وهي تحت الضغط. لكن الناس في التعيينات مش حاسين بأي ضغط، والله ده احنا معانا وقت، الفرقة شابة، اصل الفرقة بتتحسن، المدرب بيتحسن، اصل الدنيا تمام، وكله بونو. لا هو مش كله بونو الحقيقة، احنا في وضع وحش. والهيريتج او الارث، انت من النقطة دي كاس العالم للأندية وبطولة اوروبا انت عمال تبعد عنها. كل ما تبعد عنها صديقي العزيز كل ما الارث بتاعك بيقل، كل ما الديجنيتي والكرامة بتاعتك بتقل، كل ما الفرق تهابك